By February 1990, Trump was separated from his first wife, Ivana, and Marla Maples was on the scene. But it was a bumpy ride.
Marla, can you give us a no comment?
On again.
Are you getting married, and if so, when?
Are we getting married?
Off again.
Are you two back together?
Well, we are right now, aren't we, huh? Well, we're just going to sort of try and keep that quiet for a bit.
We're great friends.
Trump's love life kept the tabloids buzzing.
What is your position? Well, I'm sort of handling PR because you get so much of it.
A spokesman for Trump, calling himself John Miller, explained it this way to a reporter over the phone.
He's somebody that has a lot of options, and frankly, he gets called by everybody. He gets called by everybody in the book in terms of women.
John Miller linked the mogul to women including Kim Basinger and Madonna.
Marla wants to be back with him, and she wants to be with him, but he just feels it's too soon. So, when he makes the decision, he's very capable of a total commitment when he makes the decision. But he felt it's too soon.
That total commitment finally came in December 1993. Before 1,000 guests, Marla became Mrs. Trump in a lavish ceremony held at the Plaza Hotel just 2 months after Donald and Marla's daughter, Tiffany Ariana, was born. Trump's 3 older children stayed in Aspen with their mother, Ivana. When your father married Marla, you and your brothers, the 3 of you, decided not to go?
Well, going to Aspen was a tradition and was something that we had done our whole lives. And it was something that was very important to my mother, and it was a memory that we wanted to have again, and we wanted to have with her, especially at that time.
It was a wonderful wedding.
Jay Goldberg, Donald's divorce attorney, had drafted some uncommon paperwork for Trump before the wedding.
You're familiar with the prenuptial, you're familiar with the postnuptial. But a sunset agreement is very, very rare. That's an agreement that provides that if they're married a certain period of time or less, then the woman gets a fixed amount. It's not the normal.
Did he say, I don't want a regular prenup, I want a 5-year sunset?
Yes, yes.
Trump put it this way to ABC.
Not so bad. Somebody gets married and it doesn't work out, you get $1 million. I mean, I think $1 million is a lot of money.
No, you don't.
No, I don't, actually. But the fact is that $1 million for somebody coming into a marriage, if something didn't, and I'm not talking about anybody specifically, but it's a lot of money for somebody.
And by 1994, Trump was back in the business of doing what he loved most, making a lot of money.
It's the best year I've ever had. Yeah, Trump is definitely back, much to the chagrin of some people.
His path back was rooted in what he knew best, real estate. He bought a downtown landmark, 40 Wall Street, for a cool $1 million in 1995.
Started to refurbish, put in, and the market turned around, and it had a lot to do with the Trump touch.
George Ross is a longtime Trump advisor. He says it's one of the best deals he ever made.
I don't think one, I think it's the best.
The best deal.
It's the best real estate deal I've ever seen, and I've been in the business more than 50 years. Anybody who can take a building for $1 million and turn it into something that's worth $550 million in a period of 15 years, to me, that's fantastic.
But the big projects Trump favored before the corporate bankruptcies remained out of his reach.
He had lost credibility with the financial community.
Richard Seltzer is a prominent New York real estate attorney.
Banks were no longer loaning to him. He had defaulted on other loans. He had sent companies that he owned into bankruptcy. The credit markets had tightened up on him.
He had to change tactics. Now he needed partners.
I think it probably is a change in philosophy, because normally I would have done everything 100% myself, and now I have joint venture partners to do things.
Partners to put up the money for projects like Riverside South, a 77-acre tract of land he'd been trying to develop for more than 15 years.
It goes all the way from 72nd Street down to 59th Street.
When he couldn't pay the mortgage, Trump sold Riverside South to partners who bought the land, took care of his debt, paid him to manage the project, and gave him a 30% cut of the profit once it was sold.
If you drive down the West Side Highway now, in very big bronze, almost gold-looking letters, you see Trump on building after building after building, as if these were Trump buildings.
Okay, let's go.
Seltzer tangled with Trump in court over a $4 million commission Trump owed to realtor Barbara Corcoran.
He is a bully that takes advantage of people who've done a good job for him, and he doesn't care. Bullies often believe that they can get away with less than the truth. Part of bullying is making up your own truth and propelling it based on your vehemence.
The judge awarded Corcoran the full $4 million, saying the only damages in the case were to Trump's bruised ego. But the worth of Trump's name endured.
Trump was a visionary in terms of the belief that he could license the name.
Robert Pasakoff is a branding expert who has studied the value of the Trump name.
You take an apartment building. It's not his. He didn't build it. Someone else built it. They've just cut a deal that they're going to franchise his name. The square footage on that building just went up 30%.
Most of the buildings that have Trump on it, he doesn't have any ownership in. Developer's paradise. I mean, there's never been a more perfect development scheme. No money, no risk, no involvement, no exposure of any kind, and nothing but pure profit.
After a 6-year absence from the Forbes 400 Richest Americans list, Trump returned in 1996. The next year, he released his best-selling book, The Art of the Comeback. His renewed knack for making money in the mid-90s allowed him to pursue his passions, from the estate at Mar-a-Lago to new golf courses to the purchase of the Miss Universe pageant.
Well, Miss Universe was great. It was fun, beautiful women, beautiful everything, and Miss Universe was it was a fun little venture.
I'll work out with her anytime she wants, I'll tell you.
Okay. That had some not-so-fun moments, too. Alicia Machado was the reigning Miss Universe when Trump bought the pageant in 1996 and staged a press event saying she needed to lose some weight.
When she won the contest, I had never seen anybody more beautiful, and she's totally beautiful now.
Trump often made comments about women's appearances. On Howard Stern's radio show in 2005,
I would say she's in the 4 or 5 category. Right. I view a person who's flat-chested is very hard to be a 10, okay?
To the campaign trail.
But I'm just reading the quote for what it is. Look at that face. Why would anyone vote for that? Can you imagine that's the face of our next president?
To his infamous drumbeat of criticism of Megyn Kelly after she asked him about sexist comments in a Fox News debate.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. No, it wasn't.
You could see there was blood coming out of her eyes, blood coming out of her wherever.
Claims of misogyny and chauvinism. Ivanka Trump has heard it all.
Asking you as a daughter, a mother, a businesswoman, much has been said about how he regards women. And so if I ask you the question flat out, is he a sexist?
He's absolutely not a sexist. There's no way I could be the person I am today if my father was a sexist. I would not be one of his senior-most executives, and I would not be working shoulder to shoulder with my brothers. I would be working for my brothers, if at all. So, I think actions ultimately speak louder than words. My father has 40 years of history of employing women. I think in terms of the nomenclature he uses, the labels.
Bimbo, the words sometimes.
Yeah, no, people say, but you know what? He calls men some pretty rough names, too.
Complicated relationships with women in business and love. He described it on ABC in 1994.
I create stars. I love creating stars. And to a certain extent, I've done that with Ivana. To a certain extent, I've done that with Marla. I mean, I've really given a lot of women great opportunity. Unfortunately, after they're a star, the fun is over for me. It's like a creation process. It's almost like creating a building. It's pretty sad.
As for Marla and Donald, they separated in 1997. Right on schedule, according to Jay Goldberg, architect of Trump's sunset agreement.
I mean, I even marked it on the calendar, of course, to be sure that it didn't run over the 5-year period. One day I said to him, you have about a year and a half to go.
The stories about it arriving just before prenup was going to run out time.
Well,
true?
those stories are inevitable, and today you have to have a prenup, and I did have a prenup that terminates at a certain level.
The divorce finalized in 1999, leaving Marla with a reported $2 million. Coming up,
I think there's no question that The Apprentice took him to a different level of celebrity.
the show that made Trump a household name.
I don't think he could successfully run for president without his popularity from The Apprentice.
Introducing Cologuard.
I'm here for an important reason. Colon cancer screening. If you're age 50 or older and at average risk, Cologuard finds cancer and pre-cancer. And it's a non-invasive test you can use at home. In fact, I'm as easy as get, go, gone. How do you get me? Your doctor orders me, and I'm delivered directly to your doorstep. There's no need for time off or special prep because I use the DNA in your stool to find colon cancer. Then you just go. I mean, collect your sample. Then I'm gone. Just ship me to the lab. Gotta go.
Cologuard is intended for individuals at average risk for colon cancer. Cologuard is not for high-risk individuals, including those with a history of colon cancer or polyps, IBD, certain hereditary cancer syndromes, or a family history of colon cancer. Cologuard, colon cancer screening that's as easy as get, go, gone. Ask your doctor if Cologuard is right for you.
Guess what, guys? I switched to Sprint.
Sprint? I'm hearing good things about the network.
All the networks are great now. We're talking within a 1% difference in reliability of each other. And Sprint saves you 50% on most current national carrier rates. Save money on your phone bill, invest it in your small business. Wouldn't you love more customers?
I would definitely love some new customers.
Sprint will help you add customers and cut your costs.
Switch your business to Sprint and save 50% on most current Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile rates. Don't let a 1% difference cost you twice as much.